Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a topic that many shy away from: narcissists. You know the type. They walk into a room and somehow make everything about them. Their world revolves around control, manipulation, and feeding their own ego. But here's the truth: the only way a narcissist will ever respect you is if you make a choice to stop playing their game. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not easy. Narcissists thrive on making you doubt yourself, pulling you into their orbit, and keeping you there as long as you're useful. But you've got the power to change the dynamic. You can turn the tables. How? By setting firm boundaries, prioritizing your own self-worth, and refusing to be manipulated. Let's break it down with 6 key principles to remember when dealing with a narcissist. Validation is a tricky thing. It feels like it fills you up, but in reality, it drains you. The more you chase someone else's approval, the further away you move from the most important relationship in your life, the one you have with yourself. Seeking validation from another person, especially someone who isn't serious about you, puts your worth in their hands. It's like handing over the keys to your own happiness and hoping they'll take care of it. But here's the truth: they can't, and they won't. When you rely on someone else to tell you you're enough, you're giving them power over your life. Their mood, their attention, their approval becomes the fuel you run on, and when they don't give it, you're left feeling empty. That's no way to live. It's time to recognize that your value doesn't come from anyone else's opinion or treatment of you. It comes from within. You don't need someone to tell you you're beautiful, strong, or capable. You already are. You don't need someone to validate your worth by showing interest in you. Your worth is inherent. It doesn't fluctuate based on who's paying attention or who's ignoring you. The minute you stop chasing their validation, you take back your power. You stop asking, am I good enough for them, and start realizing, are they good enough for me? Think about all the energy you spent trying to win their approval. Think about all the times you've adjusted yourself, your personality, your appearance, your dreams, just to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. That's exhausting, isn't it? Now imagine redirecting that energy toward becoming the best version of yourself for you, not for anyone else. Imagine living a life where your confidence comes from knowing who you are and what you bring to the table, not from someone else's fleeting attention. When you stop seeking validation, you'll notice something powerful. The people who truly value you will naturally gravitate toward you. You won't have to beg for their time or attention because they'll recognize your worth without you having to prove it. And the ones who don't see your value, let them go. That's not a loss, it's a blessing. Taking this step isn't about arrogance, it's about self-respect. It's about choosing to prioritize your own opinion of yourself over someone else's. It's about standing tall, knowing that your worth is not up for debate or negotiation. When you stop seeking their validation, you free yourself. You step into your power. You become the kind of person who doesn't just attract love, you inspire it. Boundaries aren't just rules you set for others, they are declarations of how much you value yourself. When you establish boundaries, you're saying, this is how I deserve to be treated, and I won't settle for less. They are your way of protecting your time, your energy, and your heart from being mishandled. And let me tell you, if you don't set boundaries, someone else will set them for you, often in ways that serve their needs, not yours. In relationships, boundaries are not walls meant to keep others out. They are guidelines that show people how to respect and honor your space. A man who is serious about you will respect your boundaries. He'll see them as an extension of your self-respect and admire you for having the strength to uphold them. On the other hand, a man who is only looking to take advantage of your kindness will push against those boundaries, trying to bend them to his liking. When you set a boundary, it's not enough to simply state it, you must enforce it. This is where many people falter. They worry about being seen as too demanding or too difficult. But let me tell you something, anyone who sees your boundaries as a problem isn't someone who deserves access to your life. Boundaries are not about being difficult, they're about self-preservation. They are about making sure that your needs, your values, and your well-being are honored in every relationship you enter. Setting boundaries also requires clarity. Be specific about what you will and will not tolerate. If you find yourself constantly making exceptions for someone who repeatedly disrespects your limits, you're teaching them that your boundaries are negotiable. And when your boundaries are negotiable, so is your self-respect. Standing firm in your boundaries doesn't mean you're inflexible. It means you know your worth and refuse to settle for less than you deserve. Boundaries also create an opportunity for you to observe how someone responds to them. A man who values you will respect the lines you've drawn. He won't make you feel guilty for protecting your peace or safeguarding your time. Instead, he'll honor your limits because he knows they are a reflection of your self-worth. But someone who dismisses or challenges your boundaries isn't just testing your resolve, they're showing you their true character. This isn't just about saying no when something doesn't feel right, it's about making sure your yes holds value. When you set boundaries and stick to them, you're teaching the world how to treat you. You're showing others that your time, your emotions, and your presence are privileges, not guarantees. You're also showing yourself that you are capable of standing up for your own needs, even when it's uncomfortable. Boundaries are about freedom, not restriction. They free you from the burden of overextending yourself for people who don't appreciate your efforts. They give you the space to focus on what truly matters in your life. And most importantly, they attract the kind of relationships where mutual respect and understanding flourish. There comes a point in life when you must realize that not everyone will understand your choices, and that's perfectly fine. Too often, we waste precious time trying to justify ourselves to people who were never meant to walk our path or see things from our perspective. The need to explain every decision, every boundary, or every step forward isn't a sign of clarity, it's a sign of doubt. And doubt is not where you're meant to live. When you constantly explain yourself, you hand over your power. You invite unnecessary opinions and judgments that have no place in shaping your journey. It's a hard truth, but not everyone will support you, and not everyone needs to. People often judge from their own limitations, not yours. Their inability to understand your vision is not your problem, it's theirs. Think about it. Do the most successful, grounded, and confident people in the world stop to defend every move they make? No, they don't. They move with intention. They let their actions speak louder than explanations ever could. They understand that their energy is better spent building their dreams rather than debating their worth with others. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim that energy. You redirect it toward the things that matter: your growth, your peace, your progress. This doesn't mean shutting out the world or refusing to communicate. It means knowing when to let silence do the talking. It means standing firm in your decisions and trusting that your life doesn't need to be a democracy where everyone gets a vote. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. When you know who you are and what you want, there's a quiet confidence that replaces the need for validation. You stop seeking approval from people who don't have the capacity to understand your journey. You stop worrying about whether others agree with you because you've already agreed with yourself. This shift doesn't just benefit you, it also commands respect. When you stop explaining, people start noticing. They see someone who is focused, intentional, and unapologetically moving forward. They may not understand your path, but they'll recognize your determination. And that recognition, whether it comes with support or not, is often enough to silence the doubts of others. Let your actions be your explanation. Let the results of your work, the peace in your spirit, and the clarity in your choices speak for themselves. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you've chosen to grow, evolve, or protect your energy. What you owe is to yourself the commitment to move forward without being weighed down by the need to be understood by everyone. In a world that often tries to define your worth through your relationships or the validation of others, the most empowering act is to stand tall in your own independence. When you focus on your strengths, you remind yourself that you are complete not because of anyone else, but because of the gifts, talents, and resilience that are uniquely yours. Independence isn't just about being alone, it's about knowing that you are enough on your own, that your value doesn't hinge on anyone's approval or attention. Your strengths are your power. They are the things you've cultivated through life's challenges, the lessons you've learned through setbacks, and the victories you've claimed through perseverance. When you focus on what you bring to the table, your skills, your passions, your determination, you create a foundation that no one can shake. You become the architect of your own life, building a future on your terms. Independence doesn't mean closing yourself off from love or connection. It means you bring your whole self into any relationship without needing someone else to fill the gaps. It means showing up as a partner, not a dependent, and knowing that you are a person of value regardless of who is or isn't in your life. When you focus on your independence, you shift the narrative from needing someone to wanting someone who complements your journey, someone who adds to the life you've already built. This focus is magnetic. People are drawn to confidence, to individuals who know who they are and where they're going. When you channel your energy into strengthening your independence, you set a standard that others respect. You become someone who can't be easily manipulated or swayed because your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinions. You know what you deserve, and you don't settle for less. Being independent also frees you to explore your passions and goals without distraction. You can pour your time and energy into the things that make you feel alive, the things that remind you of your purpose. Whether it's a career, a creative pursuit, or personal growth, these endeavors not only fulfill you, but also reinforce your sense of self. They show you that life is full of richness and opportunity with or without a romantic partner. When you embrace your independence, you also teach others how to treat you. You show them that you're not here to beg for scraps of attention or settle for half-hearted commitment. You're here to live fully, to love deeply, and to thrive on your own terms. Independence is not a wall that keeps others out. It's a bridge that leads to the best version of yourself, a version that's ready to welcome someone who truly values and respects you. Life is too short, and your energy is too precious to waste on someone else's chaos. Drama is like quicksand that pulls you in before you even realize it, trapping your focus, stealing your peace, and clouding your vision. When someone thrives on creating conflict or stirring up emotions just to test your patience or prove their worth, you have to be wise enough to step away. Engaging in their drama is like pouring water into a bottomless pit. No matter how much you give, it will never be enough. Drama is often a distraction from what really matters. People who bring drama into your life do so because they lack the tools or the willingness to address their own issues. They seek attention, validation, or control, but at your expense. It's easy to get drawn in, especially when emotions are involved. But the moment you participate in their games, you give them power over your peace and your priorities. Refusing to engage doesn't mean you're weak or uncaring. It means you're strong enough to protect your energy. It's about recognizing that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to or entertain every petty situation they throw your way. The most powerful response you can offer is silence, boundaries, and the decision to focus on what uplifts you instead of what drains you. When you remove yourself from someone's drama, you send a clear message you respect yourself enough not to settle for unnecessary chaos. You're saying, I see what you're trying to do, but I choose not to participate. That choice allows you to maintain control over your emotions and your time. It lets you focus on building a life rooted in purpose rather than being caught in a cycle of tension and conflict. Walking away from drama is an act of self-love. It's a way of reclaiming the energy you could be pouring into your own growth, your passions, and your future. It's about understanding that engaging in their issues won't change them, it will only distract you. Let them deal with their mess while you rise above it. And remember, you don't have to explain or justify your choice to disengage. Your peace of mind is reason enough. People who respect you will understand your boundaries, and those who don't, well, their opinion was never worth your energy to begin with. Drama thrives on attention, so when you stop feeding it, it loses its power. By refusing to engage, you reclaim your focus, your time, and your worth. There's power in walking away, a strength that many underestimate. When you recognize that someone isn't serious about you, when their actions don't align with their words or their presence feels like a weight rather than a source of support, it's time to choose yourself. Walking away is not an act of defeat. It's an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that you refuse to settle for less than what you deserve. Walking away without looking back is about releasing what doesn't serve you. It's about acknowledging that your time, energy, and love are precious commodities, not to be wasted on someone who doesn't see their value. It's not your job to convince someone of your worth or to chase someone who isn't running towards you. When you let go, you reclaim your power. And you send a message not just to the other person, but to yourself that you're worthy of so much more. This isn't about revenge or playing games. It's about making a conscious choice to prioritize your well-being. Staying in a situation where you're undervalued can drain your spirit, erode your confidence, and keep you stuck in a cycle of unmet expectations. Walking away is how you break that cycle. It's how you show yourself that you have the courage to step into the unknown because you trust that better is waiting for you on the other side. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when you wonder if you made the right decision, or when the allure of what could have been tempts you to turn back. But remember, you walked away for a reason. You recognize the imbalance, the lack of reciprocity, or the emotional toll it was taking on you. Going back to what hurt you will only keep you from moving forward into what heals you. Walking away is also an act of trust, not in them, but in yourself. Trust that you have the strength to stand on your own. Trust that your future holds relationships that will uplift and honor you. Trust that by letting go of what isn't right, you're making room for what is. When you walk away without looking back, you're not just leaving someone behind, you're stepping into a brighter, stronger version of yourself. Letting go requires resolve. It's not about pretending the pain doesn't exist or minimizing the connection you once had. It's about acknowledging that you deserve more and choosing to give yourself the opportunity to find it. When you walk away with your head held high, you remind yourself and the world that you are worthy of love, respect, and reciprocity. Every step forward is a step closer to the life and love you deserve. The path may feel lonely at first, but it's leading you to a place where you'll never have to question your worth again. By walking away, you're not losing, you're gaining clarity, freedom, and the space to become everything you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, life is too short, and your worth is too great to waste your time chasing after someone who doesn't see the treasure you are. You were not placed on this earth to beg for respect, attention, or love. You were made to shine, to stand tall.